Hey everyone, Lickety Split here. Today we're working on episode 5 of a box of tabletop series for Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Orcs. Today we'll be painting our Squighog Boys. Now whenever I paint something like this, the riders, I always paint the mounts and the riders separate because it just makes it a lot easier. So here we got our boss and his Squig. They got 3 boys and theirs. These little guys, they call them saddle Gits. They'll be riding on the back. And of course we got the baby Squig. Squighog there. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up and ready, and I'll be right back.
Okay, it looks like a little bit of technical difficulty here where I lost the video and all the audio for this segment, so I'm going to describe what I did. What I'm talking about here is talking about when I'm painting it, I don't want to get anything on the lips because I'm going to paint them in a different color. And I'm going to be doing the belly with the Seraphim Sepia. I'm going to be painting it on each side. And then when I get done with it, I'm going to be washing the brush, touching off the water, and blending that Seraphim Sepia into the wraith bone. I'm not going to be too concerned with the leather because it's going to be covered with a darker color. Then the rest of the body I'm going to do with ball red. Ball red's a good, nice, solid, single pigment contrast paint that makes it much easier to cover large, flat surfaces like a lot of us on this guy. And that was about what I did in these 2 steps, and I'll be back.
Okay, we'll move on to our next step. I'll paint these guys, and the next step is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to place this all over the figure, including the lip. We're not going to place it on the head or in the saddle or the straps. And we can avoid like metal plates like this. So just get it on there, start spreading it around, like so. Just go around and spread it out nice and even. You can get the lips on this one. It'll be like the base color for them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Be right back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next step now, and our next step is going to be give this dry brush a Squig orange. I'm using a rounded dry brush and going at a circular motion. And just slightly going around the whole figure just to catch the raised parts. Don't want to show too much. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Carolbird Crimson. I went ahead and retouched up the lips on all these guys with some more wraith bone, so it's because they got a little bit of the Squig orange on there, so I want it to be a little more pronounced. So just put the Carolbird Crimson on there, nice and even. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Volupus Pink, and we're going to use this to paint the inside of the mouth and the gums. We're going to go ahead and avoid the tongue though. And then we left this part and around on the gums. We tried not to get the Carolbird Crimson on there, but if we did, it's not that big of a deal. The Volupus Pink will cover up most of it. Like so. Get the rest of the mouth done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish these guys up and be back. Okay, we'll go on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Shyish purple, and we're going to use this on any of the tongues that are exposed. Just like so. Alright, I'm going to do the rest and be back. Okay, on our next steps are going to be using some black Templar. We're going to be placing this on the saddle, on the scale part of the saddle, like so. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. Oh, there we go, sorry. Just like so. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I will be back. Okay, time for the next color. Our next color is going to be a mixture. It's a 1-to-1 mixture of Sigvald brown and contrast medium. And we are going to be using this on any of the leather straps, or in the case of the boss, his whole saddle. Like so. And these straps like this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, I'll move on to our next color. Next color is going to be Army Painter's Broadsword Silver Speed Paint Metallic. We're going to put this on any of the metallic areas that we have, like the head plate on the boss, here, his part of his gun, and then any bionics on the Squigs, or the suspension and engines and stuff like that. You can get this pretty much the same effect if you use what'll be Iron Warriors, Citadel's Iron Warriors, followed by a Null Oil Wash if you don't have this speed paint. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish all this up and be back.
Yet even more technical difficulties here. In this step, what I was demonstrating was it's going to take some Seraphim Sepia and spread it on any of the armor plating that I wanted to be white. This provides a nice good base and some depth for you later. When it rains, it pours. In this section here, what we're using is some Army Painter Brazen Copper to paint the tank on the back of the Squighog boss's Squigosaur. And then here we're going to move on to using some Army Painter Hot Black Gold to paint some of the details in the metal that we want to be in a gold color. And now we're going to be moving on to 4-to-1 mixture of Fleshshade's Red Tooth on the medium to paint any of the red iconography that we want, or any bolted on teeth on the jaws, that sort of thing. Anything that basically you want to be red, we'll be using this mixture on. Now we're going to moving on to a 4-to-1 mixture of Sigvald Burgundy along in medium, where we're going to be painting this little fleshy part around the head, and we're also going to be painting it on the legs up to the knees, and then we'll be washing our brush, touching up the water, and blending it in to just above the knees, just to give a nice dark differentiation of tone for the legs. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to be two different things. We're going to be using the 2-to-1 black leafman to contrast medium on the hooves and the toes, and then on the eyes and the stripes on the back, we're going to be using a 1-to-1 mixture of black Templar to contrast medium. We're also going to be washing the brush, touching up the water, and kind of blending it in so it's not quite so stark. Doesn't have to be perfectly neat, because these could be like marks painted on by orcs, and orcs are notoriously sloppy beings. Here we're using a 2-to-1 mixture of black leaves and contrast on the tire for the little Squig.
Alright, let's move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Corax white. And we're going to place this on the parts that we put the Seraphim Sepia on. Not getting everything, right? Leaving some of that Seraphim Sepia to separate things. Just so we get it, like, go around the little nubs there, rivets. Like so. And we're also going to be using it on the eye, just the eyeball. Oops, that didn't turn out too well. Here's how you can fix it. Just get some water, rinse it right away, dry off your brush, and there you go. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different brush for this one. I need a little more control. So right on the eyeball there. I'm going to set them down, brace my wrists, stabilize my hand with my fingers there, and then paint in the eyeball here, like so. And I'm going to continue doing, I'm going to finish the plates and the other eye, and then work on the rest and be back. Okay, we'll move on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White. You can use Army Painter's Matte White or White Scar from Citadel instead, and you'll be able to get the same effect. So we're going to be relayering the parts we painted in Corax White, except for the eyeball, of course. We'll be doing something else for that later. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, we'll move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Druchii Violet. We're going to place this wherever we placed the Sigvald Burgundy before. So that means around here. And also we'll be doing it on the legs as well. So on the legs, we're going to be placing the big Sigvald Burgundy. We're going to take it up to about here and then blend it up. So we leave the Sigvald Burgundy here, and then we got the Druchii Violet down here. So we'll go about that far up. And then we'll wash the brush, touch off the water, and we'll kind of tap the edges, kind of blend it in. So there's a nice smooth transition. And we'll do this on all the places where we placed it before. Alright, okay, we'll move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Iyanden Yellow. And we're going to use this to paint in the eyeballs. Just like that. Well, probably a little much. There we go. There. And there. Alright, I'm going to finish the rest up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Screaming Skull, and we're going to use this to start to work on their teeth. So we're just going to use this to pick out the teeth, leaving some of that color around it, just being careful. Okay, I'm going to finish the rest of these up, be back. Okay, one other thing I'd like to point out is when I do the top teeth, I've got to face this way and I pull down on them. And when I do the bottom teeth, I flip it around, flip it upside down. And then it's just easier to, you're more accurate when you're pulling towards yourself than when you're going away with a brush. Okay, be back. Okay, now that we got the Squigs Hogs all done, we're going to move on to the riders. So we got our boss, we got our 3 boys, and we got our saddle Gits. They're all going to be painted pretty much the same. I'm going to focus my demonstration on the boss. If there's something different from the other guys that isn't covered with the boss, then I will show you. All right, let's move this stuff aside and get started. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on the skin. And the color we're going to use for that is going to be some Gut Rip of Flesh, the base color. So we're going to go ahead and put that on all the skin. There we go. Get a little more on there. All right, I'm going to put this on all the skin, and then I'll be back. Oh, don't forget when you're doing the skin, avoid the lip, because we'll be doing that later. Okay, be back. Alright, on the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Fleshshade Red and Tulamian Medium. And we're going to place this wherever we're going to be doing red. That'll be like the eyes any sort of bolted on things like this. Also any iconography, like raised iconography like this guy has right here. Is the stuff we'll be doing with this in this step. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture, 4 parts snakebite leather and 1 part lamy medium. And we're going to use this as a color for our pants for our guys here. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be right back. Here we go. Let's do this first. Just like so. Spread it out nice and even. There we go. Be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture. Oh, sorry, a 1-to-1 mixture. Sigvald brown and contrast medium. And we're going to use this to do all the leather and the weapons grips. Like so. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Caradon turquoise and lamy medium. We're going to use this for the scales. For step on our scales. Get it in there, make sure it gets in the crevices. On the scales here. Just like that, leave these horns alone because we'll be doing them differently later. Yep, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, we'll go on to our next step. Next step is going to be a little bit of a black Templar on this cloak. Obviously, we let this fully dry before we do this. Okay, I'm going to finish it up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color now. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Luxian purple and lamy medium. And we're going to use this on the boss's cloak. So just spread it on there nice and easy. Take your time. Try to be careful, don't get on the other parts because it takes longer to touch it up than it does to avoid it. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we'll move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a mixture of 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion and contrast medium. And we're going to use this for the boots and any claws that we might have. If you want to, you could use this also as an option for a fur, because it will work. As you can see how it's going into the recesses here and leaving the shading. This is why I do this mixture with the Black Legion, because then you can just paint the boots once, something like that. Just once, and then you're done. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Squirrel Grunter Fur and Lamy Medium, and we're going to use this, to paint one of the furs. Get that off of there. you have a little overspill like that, just wash the brush, touch off some of the water, and dry it off. And there you go. All fixed. Okay, I'm going to move and finish this up and be back. Okay, move on to the next color. Next color is going to be a 4-to-1 mixture of Skeleton Horde and Lamy Medium. We're going to use this as another option for furs. We're also going to use this on any bones and horns that you see throughout the figures. I think I'm going to come back and do these spikes in a different color. Probably the, actually I'm going to go ahead and do these spikes in the 2-to-1 mixture of Black Legion and Contrast, just so it separates itself from it. Okay, I'm going to work on the rest of them and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. And our next color will be some Seraphim Sepia, and we are going to use this on any place where we're going to have the white armor. Just like so. And that includes bits like this. And like this. And they vary on each one, so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to the next color. The next color is going to be some yellow tan green, and we're going to use this to go over the skin. And again, we'll avoid that lower lip here, like so. And put it everywhere else on the skin. Same thing will go for the saddle Gits. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up for all these guys and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next step. And our next step can involve a couple different colors. We're going to be doing these red markings here. And we're going to have a choice of 3 different shades, which I'll show you. We're going to have this one's Agrax Earth Shade. Right? Or we can do Carolbird Crimson. Like so. Whoops. Or we can just leave it as is. So there's 3 different tones off of one base color. Saves you some time, makes it a little more efficient. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up and be back. Oh, one thing I forgot to say when I just showed you this step, that you can also do when you do the Carolbird Crimson, you can do the bottom lips of these guys. Like so. In this step. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now we're going to go on the next color. Next color is going to be some Reikland Fleshshade. And we're going to use this on any scars or cuts these guys might have. Just like so. Okay, I'm going to go do this on the rest of the figures and be back. Okay, next color I'm going to be using is going to be a 1-to-1 mix of Contrast Medium and Black Templar. And we're going to use this to shade the Pterodon turquoise we put on this guy's cloak. that looks like it's too much, you can dry off your brush and you can kind of brush off some of the stuff on the top if you want to expose it more and just add more depth to the, and kind of play with it. Like so. Okay, I'll be back with the next color. Alright, our next color is going to be some Druky Violet. We're going to use this to shade the boss's cloak. Give it a deeper, richer color. Oh, look at that. There's a claw there I missed. I'll have to go back and touch it up with some Wraith Bone so that I can hit it with a 2-to-1 mix of Black Legion and Contrast. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and we'll be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Ork Flesh. We are going to use this to highlight their skin. Actually to re-layer. But the reason I like doing the skin this way with the shades, the contrast and the shades first, is because it kind of tells you where you should highlight. This will give you a much more even shade to the skin. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to finish these up for all these guys and I'll be back. Okay, we're going to move on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Deepkin Flesh, and we're going to use this to highlight the scars a little much on the brush. Like so. It's fairly subtle. And we also want to hit the knuckles just a little bit. And if there you can see any veins on them, we would do that too. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, we're going to move on to next color. Next color is going to be some Gene Stealer Purple. And we're going to use this to highlight the boss's cloak. Again, the way we do this with the contrast and the shades, it just kind of tells you where the highlight should be. Like so. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and be back. We're going to move on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White. You can use Army Painter's matte white or white scar as well for this step. So we're just going to go in and paint it in, leaving some of the Corax white and hopefully Seraphim Sepia where possible. There. Alright, here we go. Just like this. Try your best to avoid the little rivets. If you don't get it, it's not the end of the world. Alright, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. Okay, on the next color, we're going to be using some Army Painter Metallic Speed Paint. Hoplite. Oops. Yeah, Hoplite Gold is the name of it. And we're going to be painting this part up here. First I thought it was just a mohawk, but then you can see it's bolted on, so it's metallic. So the boss has got some shiny gubbins. Now you should be able to get the same thing with from the Citadel with I would say Retributor armor maybe. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'll be back. Alright, on to the next color. Next color is going to be another Army Painter metallic speed paint. It's going to be Horde Bronze, and we're going to use this on this guy's metallic metal mohawk. Right here. Okay. We're also going to be using it on any remaining metallic bits that we haven't got already. Okay, I'm going to go through and do all this and be back. Alright, on to the next step. We're going to be using some Volupus Pink. Oops, actually put a little bit on there. And we're going to be painting in the mouths. Like so. So you're going to want to get the gums too for this. Just like, there we go, like that. All right, I'm going to finish up the rest and be back. One thing I'd like to point out that I did on the saddle Gits is I actually got the Volupus Pink onto their lips, and it actually turned out looking pretty good. So 2 for 1. Okay, on to our next step. Next step is going to be using some ball red on these Squigs. Actually, that is all right. Probably should have done this earlier. I would recommend doing this step before you do the Volupus Pink for the mouth, because then you could just do their mouth at the same time rather than later. So alright, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, on to the next color. Next color is going to be some Pterodon Turquoise. 4 parts Pterodon Turquoise, 1 part Lamian. And we're going to use this to shade around to shade the eye and the eye socket. So we don't want to just get in the eyeball, we want to get the area around it too. Like that, like so. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. Okay, we'll move on to our next step. Next step is going to be some Reikland's Fleshshade all over these little squigs. There you go. I'll finish it up and be back. Okay, on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Screaming Skull. And we are going to use that to pick out the teeth. Like so. Alright, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. Okay, one thing to point out about doing teeth is that when you shade it so you pick out the gums, leave a little space at the bottom or near where the tooth is going to go into the gums. And that way it gives us a separation and makes it look better. See, like there and there. Okay, I'll be back. All right, on to our next color. Next color is going to be some Evil Sun Scarlet, and we are going to use this on the eyeball. And we're going to try to get this just on the eyeball. So it's got to be very careful. Use a fine brush, like so. And if you get a little bit extra in there, then you can go around it with a Pterodon turquoise again. Okay, I'm going to finish these guys up and be back. A couple of tips on eyes. I have myself all fully braced. I'm on the table, so I'm very stable, so I can get it in there. Another trick that people do is they'll turn the figure upside down. Whoa! And then they can get it, and there you go. Say, oops, I didn't get it. There we go. And you get it in there like this. All right, I'll be back. Okay, on to the next color, a little Eshin Gray, and I'm going to use this to highlight these spikes. All right, I'm going to finish this up and be back. Okay, next color is going to be Squighog Game Color Silver. You can use Stormhost Silver instead. We're going to be doing the eye here. I'm going to be putting it right on that eye like that. For the ones with the bionic implant eyes. Okay, on to our next color. Our next color is going to be some Spirit Stone Red. It's a Citadel technical paint that's made to go over like shiny silver, so that's why I put this here. Like that. There you go. Finish the other one up and be back.